Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Circe's Circlet, the new ring in 11.0.7 for Retribution Paladins. So we're going to just quickly talk about how to get the ring. It's really easy to get, and then we're going to focus kind of like on the gems to use to max out your player power. It's worth mentioning that they just buffed this literally the day before it went live, so some stuff might not be fully accurate. If I need to update anything, it'll be whenever in a few days, whenever we realize, oh, this is actually really good now. Also, there's some simulation stuff that's not working on like raid bots for simulating. So there's all kinds of stuff that could be inaccurate, but we can at least get a nice basis of how the ring works and maybe the gems that would be the best for you to use and things like that. So Siren Isle patch that's coming out today. I'm doing this during the maintenance, or else I'd be in the game on the PTR showing you what the gems look like. We can still look at the gems a little bit here. This is something we've done on this channel before, but we'll kind of just talk about. It was mostly me theory crafting, and a lot of that ended up being correct. But yeah, so basically you have a ring. If you didn't play in Dragonflight, you basically go to the island, get a ring, and now you have to power it up with these gems. You have three types of gems. In this case, it's thunder, sea, and wind. One of each can be socketed in, and they give you stats, or they give you an effect, or they give you a shield, or they help you heal, right? These things do that. For Paladin, obviously, we're going to be focusing on damage done, while obviously if you do solo content or other stuff, other effects could be useful to you as well. We're going to focus on the damage here. So, to get the ring, it's really easy. You go to the island, you get a quest, you loot it off a dead body, you get the ring. Now, to get it to max power, which is worth mentioning, I think, at the start of this video, it's going to take 6 weeks for you to get this to max power. So you basically get to upgrade it a little bit each week. And once it gets to max power, that's when it's going to be totally very, very powerful. This first day, I don't know what gems are going to come out the first day. Not all gems are gettable right away. So I don't know what gems will be out the first day. You might not want to use it today. Like if you're raiding tonight, like I am, you might not want to use it for raid at the 639 eye level, and with bad gems, right? But if you have it at the 639 eye level with good gems, then you put that on even over another 639 ring, right? So it's all going to depend on that kind of thing. And you can kind of slow play it if you want, or you could just use it and be like, I want to see what it does. Maybe the sims are wrong. I'm going to try it and see if it gives me more power, right? That's also a very reasonable thing to do for the first night. And as I already said, if we need to make updates to this, we will make updates and say, okay, this gem's actually better. All right, so let's go through and talk about what probably most people want to know is what gems are best for them to socket into their ring. So for Thunder, we have a pretty easy choice here, and that's the Stormbringer's Rune Citrine. It grants a good amount of every secondary stat. Why is this good? Because this ring doesn't have any stats on it naturally. It's just stamina. So this gives you stats on your ring. So this is a good one to have there. For C, for Ret Paladin, we want the Mastery one. So it's the Fathom Dweller's Runed, and that grants Mastery. In addition, all other singing Citrine effects are affected by your Mastery. Now, I'm not sure if that's working correctly on some of them. Like, I don't know if having high Mastery is giving you more of every secondary stat. If that's not working, then like that could be a bug or that could be intended. But we could kind of like double dip in a lot of cases if that does work. And that we're going to talk about that in the Wind Gem as well. So the Wind Gem, the one that is kind of best for everybody is this legendary Skipper's Citrine. Your spells and abilities have a chance to cast a random Citrine effect at 150% effectiveness, which means you could get any of them to proc, and it just procs at a high level. Now, this is very RNG. I have to imagine that this also could be like a healing one or whatever, which wouldn't help you at all. So this seems to be very RNG. What I would do, but when it hits the good RNG, you're going to be hitting really, really hard, right? 150% on effects that are pretty strong. However, this Windsinger Runed Citrine, right? It grants a good amount of your highest secondary stat. So if your highest secondary stat's Mastery, again, if this thing can double dip, this would be causing like a lot of like oh, it's actually giving me more mastery, which then's powering the effect, which is then giving me more mastery. And it would wind down, like the way I think about it at least. Like what that should do is it should keep giving you power, but just less and less power until it, fades down. But I'm not sure if it's working that way or if it's intended to work that way. But I would at least get this gem, the Windsinger's Rune Citrine, even if it ends up not being good to use, even if it's not bugged, even if this is just the way it is. I would at least get the Windbringer's Rune Citrine. So let's go over the ones that you should be focusing on getting if they're available to you. And we'll talk a little bit right after this about how you kind of can acquire some of these gems. So the Stormbringer Rune Citrine, secondary stats. The Mastery one, the Fathom Dweller's Rune Citrine, that's your C. Then the Wind, the one that most people are going to use right away is going to be the Legendary Skipper's Citrine. However, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this one, the Windsinger's Rune Citrine. I'm going to keep my eye on this one as well, because I think there's a lot of potential there. This is the one. This is the one that I kind of like in theory made sense to me when I did theory crafting, complete Feely craft or whatever. That's kind of what it seemed to me. Now, how do you get these gems? So to get the gems, it's not going to be as boring and easy as just sitting there and killing the rares over and over again. There's going to be like little events that pop up. So you'll have a weekly quest. That quest will give you a gem. You'll have an event. Think of like the little events that are in the new zones, right? You have to, like, the one that comes to mind for whatever reason is doing like the excavation protection in the underground zone in Dragonflight. You have to do that event. Complete an event and you get that. Complete a faction helping quest thing and you get a gem, right? And you're going to get gems in this manner instead of, so it's like a very limited, it's like a very one-timey thing. Like, okay, go get this gem. Now, the gems that you get, it seems like, and I don't know this might not be the way it goes live when servers come up here in a few hours or whatever. This might not be the case. But as of now, it kind of seems like you will kind of be limited about what gems you can get. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they put a vendor in or they make all of them available in some way. Maybe you can hard farm them through rares and things like this. But right now it might be very limited what gems you can get, which is fine. The ring starts off at a low eye level, but by the time you get this up to the 658 eye level, hopefully you at least have your good gems by then. And that's gonna at this stage in the game, that seems like it's gonna be a on Blizzard thing, and we'll see how it goes live and how farmable these gems are. But it seems like you might just get 3 per week, and then have them all after 4 weeks. So on the 4th week, you would have every single gem if you did the content. But I don't know. I can't say that's for sure how it's gonna work again. If I did an update video because the gem effects were wrong, and we're actually supposed to use all the ones that do damage, nature damage and direct damage ones, I'll mention that as well if it goes live in a different state than what it was on the PTR and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the gems to keep your eye on. Sock them in your ring, upgrade your ring each week. This is intended to be used into season 2 up until like heroic level. So if you only do heroic raid, you really want to get this ring and upgrade it, because you might use it all of next season as well. So it'd be very prominent for you. If you're a mythic raider, and maybe, so let's say you're a mythic raider and already have CE, you're not in like a rush to come get this thing or anything like that if you're like playing other games or whatever. However, you might want it for prog for next season, so you probably still want to come and get it. It's something that most players are going to want to get. Anybody who cares about their player power are going to want to get it. You probably want to get on your alts, for example, as well, if you play alts, just for the power. So yeah, that'll be it for this one. Again, we'll update if we need to. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody have a good one.